Hi, everybody. This is Tony Whistler with my good friend Dan Vasquez, and welcome to Drive Facebook Live. We have a very wonderful guest today. We have Jazmin Acuna of Acuna Total Car Care. Say hi, Jazmin.
Hello.
Awesome. Say hi, Dan.
Hey everyone.
Very nice. So here we are. Um, I'm so happy to have you on the show. Jazmin, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate that.
Thank you for inviting me. I feel very fortunate to be part of this show today.
Well, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. You're a great client. You're fun to hang out with. Let the people out there know a little bit about you, your shop, who the owner configuration is, some of the where it's at, people that work there. Tell us a little bit about your shop.
Sure. So we are a shop in Reno, Nevada. That's northern Nevada. A lot of times people think it's closer to Vegas, but we're closer to Sacramento or Lake Tahoe.
Mm,
So northern Nevada. And our ownership dynamics a little different. I'm business owner with my husband and his cousin Junior. So all three of us run the business, and we have six techs, 5 bays. We're a general repair shop. We do specialize in Toyota Lexus vehicles, as that's where Caesar has his experience. He worked for Lexus for over 10 years, and we are just happy to be here.
awesome. So if I had trouble with my RAV4, would you be able to work on that if I was in Reno?
Yes, we can definitely work on a RAV4. We are focusing on Toyota Lexus as our specialty, but we do work on most make and models.
That's awesome. So I did notice one thing, and I have to ask about it. Did I hear you right? You have six technicians, but you have 5 bays. How does that
Yes,
work?
that's very tight. We've gotten very creative.
Yeah. So is one of your techs always going to get coffee or get hit in the donut shop, or what's going on there? I don't.
So actually, our sixth tech, he is um, mainly our tire tech, as we
Yeah.
don't specialize on tires. We don't always have tires. Um, but he does the tires. He's also our parts runner, our shuttle guy.
Mm.
So he helps out a lot where needed. He's currently being trained to do the DVI inspections, the quality control inspections. So, yeah, that's how we've gotten creative.
That's awesome. That's really great. Dan, you have anything for her? You don't have any questions?
Well, I know you've got a lot going on at the shop there, and I know from talking to you that you guys are processing a lot of cars, like 90 to 100, even 100 plus cars per week, which is just phenomenal. What's that like on a day to day? Um,
It's actually pretty chaotic, to be honest. Uh, Thankfully, we found Drive about a year and a half ago. I think if we hadn't, we would have lost our mind for sure. So with the help of Drive, we've been able to implement new policies and procedures and really learn from other shops how a what a workflow means, an efficient workflow is. Um, so it's chaotic, but we're learning how to um, face our challenges and not necessarily by ourselves because we can relate with all these other shops that a lot of times you connect with in these workshops. And the workshops are great, they're very informational, but you also create these relationships and you feel connected and you can talk to these other shop owners that understand the same struggles, that most likely had the same struggles as what we're facing now. Um, so it's a really good community because we don't feel alone. So to answer your question, it feels chaotic, but it feels like we are finding the solutions.
yeah, yeah. It sounds like it's controlled chaos, and you have gained a network of people that you can rely on and bounce ideas and questions off of. So That's really, really good. Real quick, your consultant Carla is watching, so just a shout out to Carla
Hi,
Weiss. Hi, Carla.
Carla.
And
Carla's
yep,
the best.
she's
She
a
keeps
great
us in line.
yep, great consultant. She also happens to be one of the guest hosts for this show, so she's part of the family. That's a wonderful. I love Carla. You got a great coach there.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now what one of the questions I wanted to ask about was, of course, we always like to talk about the stages. The stages is, Drive uses the stages of expansion as a way
Mm-hmm.
to gauge where a shop is at. I can just go over it real quick. Stage one, you're basically a one-man band, just running the shop yourself. Don't have any employees, or maybe your wife's helping or something, your husband's helping. Um, Stage two, you've hired some people, but you're still absolutely in the workflow. And stage three, you've gotten yourself to the point where you've got your team together enough to where the owner is taking on the role of a manager. He's the manager and the owner, but he's not really in the workflow anymore. He's only dipping in when he needs to help or something, but he's not full-time service advisor or a full-time tech. And then stage four, of course, is when you get to the point where your shop is expanded enough to where you can take on the salary of a shop manager. And then at that point, you're not really in the shop more than a couple of hours a day or something, and you're just operating your shop that way. So those are the stages. So where would you say you are as far as the stages go?
As far as stages, I think we're a freshly new stage three.
Hmm.
So I personally am able to pull away from the front. I was writing service for a few years and doing all the bookkeeping, the HR, the payroll, the accounting as best as I could. So that was very overwhelming and stressful. So now I'm not writing service. I'm not at the front at all. So I have been able to peel back a little bit and focus more on business. Caesar is still um, in the shop a little bit more than we would like him to be, but I think we can finally see the vision of what he would be doing and what he can be doing if he's not in the shop. And Junior, he's still a very solid service advisor at the front. So we haven't replaced that. So that's where we're at. So I think we're a freshly stage three.
That's awesome. And you were saying that you were responsible for doing all the writing of the service, and then also all the bookkeeping and all of that, basically office manager job, which is very common. But you're saying now you can pull away from that. Now, that reminds me, you had just taken advantage of one of our new services here at Drive, which is the bookkeeping precision service, right?
Mm-hmm.
And can you tell us a little bit about how that experience has gone?
Yes. So prior to Drive, we've been with Drive for about a year and a half. Prior to Drive, we had been working with our accountant to keep our books together. However, when we started Drive, they started asking us about the percentage of our labor, the percentage of our cost of parts. And without connecting with him, I didn't really have an answer. So that was a little frustrating because I'm not sure if other shops have the same issue. When you're working with an accountant that's not familiar with what Drive wants or expects, um, there is a delay in information 3 months later, 6 months later. And as we're learning with Drive, that's not a real effective way to track your business flow. So with the QuickBooks Precision, I'm very excited to start running our books through them because one, they have helped us with the analysis and then the cleaning up of it. And now that should actually relieve more of my workload with the accounting and the bookkeeping and make it more streamlined and understandable so we can keep track of our numbers like on a day-to-day basis versus 3 months later when things already happened. So we're
Right,
very excited about that.
right. Because the purposes of accounting for bookkeepers and accountants and such is to make sure that you stay compliant with the tax code and to make sure that there's a good, um, documentation of all of the income coming in out of the business. but they don't think of it in terms of using it as a managerial tool. Like it's really that's a lot of that's one of the things that Drive has been teaching for a long time, and it sometimes it kind of hits clients like what like you want me to like we even teach that you should be looking at your P&L regularly and
Right.
that you should be these are tools that you use to manage with, and that but I've never had any difficulty with any accountants though kind of coming into line pretty quickly because it doesn't really affect anything they're doing. It's just a kind of a new idea for a lot of these guys.
Mhm.
They don't really realize that, oh wait a minute, what are you using these numbers for? I'm just putting them together for you to have some form of accounting for that. But then when they go, you go, no, I'm using it as a managerial tool. It's part of
Right.
how I manage my business. They're like, oh, okay. And they usually but I have had some clients, and I think Dan can attest to this. There are probably he in his workshops and such that eh, they try to get like their P&L even, and it might take like 2 weeks for them to get a P&L or a month.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
one point that I'll make too in my workshops and talking to other shop owners, so many shop owners work really, really hard to get to stage four, and then they get there, and then they say, "But you know what? My wife now is still stuck at the shop because she's doing the books," and that seems to be a really common scenario that I see. So I love this for you, Jasmine. I love that you are starting early, that you're starting to relieve yourself of those duties, so that as you two grow together and become stage four, which I know you guys are going to do very soon with the path that you're on. I think this is just a great piece of the puzzle that you're knocking out early. So I'm loving hearing this. I think it's really good.
yeah,
Thanks. It
like
seems a
you,
little stressful, but I definitely see the bigger picture thanks to
Yes.
Drive and all the workshops in the community.
yeah. Now, I had a question about how the training at Drive has gone for you, because obviously I'm the director of the training area. I direct all the events and the workshops at Drive. I'm very aware of the fact that I've seen you in many, many workshops, and that makes me very happy because it means that you're like hungry, like you want to get that knowledge. How has the experience of doing Drive workshops been for you?
It has been a life changer. When we say we've ran this business for uh, about 6 years by the seat of our pants, we really mean that. We really mean that. Um, it's grown very fast. We have a high volume. We have a great team. However, it was very stressful, kind of lonely, to be honest, because we think we're doing the right thing. We think we're putting in the long hours, but there's better, more efficient ways to do things. So pre-drive, we were close to losing our minds. With the training and the workshops, we've been able to learn how to create policies and procedures, what the workflow looks like, uh, pricing. Are we pricing things correctly or not? Is our labor rate where it should be? And all of those things, we didn't really have a real knowledge of where it should be or what's like the standard. So it's been a life changing for us for sure.
That's great. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. What of all the workshops you've taken, which one is your favorite?
Oh, that is so hard to answer.
I know
Um, I think it's definitely per the season of our business, per what challenges we're facing. Currently, as we are growing our business, I think I'm going to have to say um, and not just because I have the host here, but Dan's managing change workshop has been
there it is.
really, really eye opening. And if there's anybody that knows about change, fast growth is Dan. We were actually lucky enough to be invited to the top 20 meeting, and we went to visit his shop. And the way Dan has uh, created the policies and procedures and his workflow and just the way the shop operates um, is actually, I understand, taking this workshop really gives us an idea of what he says is the way he operates and vice versa. The way he operates is what he says. So that has been really eye opening for me. And it gives us the opportunity to share with other shops taking this workshop your real struggles, and you don't feel alone. And we get to pick each other's brain about what's working and what's not working. So it's been very, very helpful as we are facing some major growing challenges. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with, Tony.
Managing change.
Managing
That's
change.
awesome. That's one of my favorite workshops, and Dan does a wonderful job instructing that one too. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy to hear that. So how is the workshop going, Dan?
It's going really well, and one of the greatest things about the workshops is when you get attendees in there, kind of like Jazmin, who are interactive, who they enjoy the open discussion, because that really is part of the best part of the workshops. Really just talking about things and working through things together. And one of the greatest things about being an instructor is that you learn as well. You learn from other shop owners. People like myself and you, Tony, and obviously Jazmin, that I'm seeing very quickly, we're lifelong learners, right? And
Right.
so I always have my mind open to what shop owners have to say. And so sometimes not only am I teaching, but I'm also being taught at the same time and learning, different tricks and tips of the trade. But Jasmine's been great in that workshop and others. Again, she's definitely sees the value in training, which makes me. I think you were kind of segueing into some of our different levels that you can reach, our achievements, right? And you are working towards master right now. Is that right, Jasmine?
Yes. Hmm.
And how is that going? I might know the answer because I've gotten through it myself. So, but I'm curious from your perspective, how it's going.
Again, when we're running this business, like most shops, it may seem very overwhelming. It may seem like a never ending to do list. However, if we just take one thing at a time, all the requirements to hit masters is only to improve your business. So
Mhm.
eventually you're going to do it anyways. Um, However, by trying to achieve masters, it gives us a better structure, maybe even a better timeline. Um, so it's been challenging, to be honest. Currently, we are struggling with our ARO. However, it's just kind of part of the game. So we want to keep our eye on the prize and continue um, checking off those benchmarks on that masters.
Yeah. Very cool. Hey guys, I just want to take a little break and let everyone know that next Friday, November 14th, 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern, we will have on the show Jesus Vargas of C&D Tires and Auto Repair and his coach, Kimberly Gonzalez. And the exciting news is I'm taking a holiday that week, so the hosts will be Bill Ascalillo and Dan Vasquez. So that's going to be next week's show. I wanted everyone to know that. So, anything else we want to let anybody know before we get back into nice coffee clutch conversation?
Well, just really quick, just a shout out to Adam Jadovich who's watching, and also Debbie Jenner John is watching, and she said to tell you hi, Jasmine. And
Oh, hello.
yeah, and we all spent some great time together at my shop as part of that top 20 meeting. It was a really good time. Yeah, it really was. Um, and yeah, so I think we can get back to it, Tony.
Nice. So, I noticed that you actually have a pretty solid relationship with O'Reilly. We have a really great business relationship with O'Reilly too. We handle all of their administrative training. We don't do their tech training. They have that all lined out, but they didn't really have anything strong. A couple of years ago, they had really nothing going for management training, and we ended up building a nice relationship with them. And we teach all of their management training for them. So we have a great relationship. But I couldn't help but know I saw a video that you did for them. So what's going on with you and O'Reilly?
So that was a commercial for Snap financing,
Hmm.
and our service advisors at the front. Snap has just made it very easy to offer financing for customers that don't plan on their cars breaking down, because usually that's the case. We don't plan for our cars to break down. So we have been able to use Snap financing to help deliver customer service and the service that we offer here at our shop to get your car fixed. So us, because we were a high volume shop, Snap selected us to um, do a commercial with them.
So that's fun. And I think
Yeah,
that must be on the O'Reilly website somewhere.
yeah, it is through the certified auto repair,
Very
which
nice.
is actually how we found out about Drive.
Oh,
Interesting.
very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. Yeah, that's really cool.
I saw the video. It was really well produced, and your shop looks beautiful in the video. So it was really nice. Yeah, job well done on that one. And you know, it's Tony and I and all of us. We know how important it can be to just have those part vendor relationships. At the end of the day, you know, you rely on them, and they rely on you, and the
Right.
relationship between O'Reilly's and us at Drive and my shop and your shop. I mean, super important and super valuable. So, and then the financing is another good, you know, piece of the puzzle there. Being able to offer that option for customers who just don't have the funds saved up is a really good option. Helps to increase your revenue and keep, you know, happy customers. So love to see that you're doing that. That's great.
And is that and how does that how's that gone as far as using that service from them? Has it been smooth and
Yeah, it's usually very simple, easy to use, user friendly, smooth. Um, it's actually the best financing option that we have found for our customers. We like to be as clear and transparent, and it's very user friendly. So I think that's what makes it the best.
that's great. Yeah, one of the things about sales, we know that you know if a person doesn't have the money, no amount of sales skill is going to overcome that.
Right.
Right? Like you can be like the best salesman in the world, but if they simply don't have the resources, they're not going to be able to purchase. And like you said, many people just don't have the income to weather a breakdown. And
Right.
then I remember my stepfather had a shop here in Griffin, Georgia for years, and he was on the program with Drive, and it was notorious. People would just not have the money, and then he'd go, okay, well, you can pay me later. And then he had a lot of, he wasn't keeping an accounts receivable, you know, but he had accounts receivable and he had, you know, he had outstanding people owed him a lot and it was very informal. And it was one of the first things he had to change when he came on with us was he had to figure out what he was doing with it when it came to those finances. So if you can offer like financing, then it's not the customer's problem anymore. I mean, it's not your problem anymore. It's the customer and the relationship with the financier. So,
Hmm.
and then you get your money and the car gets fixed and everything's great, you know, and
Right.
then it's not your problem anymore. That's wonderful. Um,
And oh,
yeah,
can I add
no,
to
go on.
that?
No, you can always
Uh,
add. It's your show.
Pre-drive, that was a rookie mistake that we made too, because we want to help the community, we want to help all our customers. However, carrying a large AR list does hinder the business.
Mhm.
So thankfully, um, Drive has just put us on game.
Awesome. That is so great. That is really great. Now, tell me a little bit. I always want to hear a little bit about the town that, because we have clients all over the country, and it's so great. So I've never been to Reno. I've been to Vegas more than a couple times because
Hmm.
I was lived in Southern California for years, so I can get to Vegas, you know, before lunch. Um, but I've never been to Reno. Tell me why Reno is so great. Tell me one great thing
Yeah.
about Reno.
So Reno is a great city. It's the biggest little city in the world. That's their slogan. It's put on the downtown Reno in a well lit sign. Reno is really a small, big city. We have everything. It's a tight knit community. Um, I guess it's a city, but we like to call it a town. There is quite a few high schools here, but a lot of the people go through like their whole school years with the same amount of or I guess previously in the past, same amount of students throughout your whole school year. So you create that community.
Hmm.
We're close to Lake Tahoe, which is about 45-minute drive from here. And we have all seasons. In the winter, you get snow, fall, spring. The summer is hot, but not like Vegas hot. So it's
Like
different.
like desert hot? Like, is it really like a, is
I
like
mean, I don't know how to explain it. It is a drier heat. It's a high desert heat. So you get to be outdoors, hiking, camping, out in the lake. Um, there now it's a growing city. There is about 500,000 people living in the Reno Sparks area. We're close to Sacramento, about 2 hours away. So it's just a really nice, tight knit community, a growing tight knit community.
that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that close to Sacramento. I always
Yeah,
envisioned that those two cities were very, very far apart,
yeah.
but I guess they're not. It's just they're just north.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that means that you're not too far from Dan then.
Right. We actually drove there.
Oh, you did to go to the
Hmm.
top 20 at Dan's.
Hmm. Hmm.
How long did it take you to get there?
About a little under 2 hours.
Yeah, see, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, you guys could easily go have dinner together if you guys wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, yep.
Take,
As a matter of fact, we are on Tuesday, right? My wife and I are coming up. We're going to visit them and say hello and probably grab some dinner because my wife and I actually get up to Reno quite a bit as well. It is a pretty neat area, like Jasmine was saying, tight knit community, very centrally located to Lake Tahoe and other places. So great place. So I get the privilege of going to see. She got to come see my shop, so now I get the privilege of going to see hers and Caesars and Junior. So I'm excited for that.
He promised not to criticize us too much.
that won't happen. Dan doesn't have
No,
a critical bone in his body.
I
I don't.
know.
I
He
don't.
He
doesn't.
does not. That'll be, you guys will have a ball. Like I'm kind of envious. I think I'm only about 18 hours away. Maybe I'll try to work it in.
Yeah, get
Yeah, you
over
should
there.
come visit us.
Yeah.
Like an 18-hour drive.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
easy peasy, easy peasy.
You stop
exactly.
by Reno and then you can head your way to a dance shop.
Yeah, I do want to go see Dan shop. I do. I really do want to see his shop. Hey guys, it's you might not believe this, but we actually are up against the time now. We actually that half hour went pretty fast.
It really
So
did.
again, thank you so much for coming on the show, Jasmine. I really appreciate it. I really look forward to seeing the rest of your journey. I'm excited for this next year between now and the expo. I can't wait to see you at the expo giving your speech and being a master of shop management, which is a fundamental, like basic fundamental stepping stone to, total expansion and totally stage four. It's going to be wonderful. Again, thank you for being on the show. Thanks, Dan, for helping out. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Any last thoughts before we sign off?
I
I
am good. Jasmine, do you have anything you want us
yeah,
to know?
I
Yeah.
just like to share um our testimony with Drive. I'm like the walking billboard for Drive because it's something that we truly believe. It's something that has truly helped our business to grow and thrive. Um, and running a business is not easy. Running a shop from zero, not knowing what direction to go, is very stressful. However, with the things of Drive, if we plug into everything they tell you to do, and it's just kind of like a snowball effect. It'll keep your business will keep growing. You'll keep learning, and it really does take the stress out of being the business owner and trying to grow your business.
Well, that is a
Wow.
wonderful testimony. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful thing to end on. That's all we have for today, guys. We'll see you guys next Friday for the next Drive Facebook Live.
Thank you
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
I think we're still live on Facebook.
We are.